Blue Sox baseball is back. Live from Donovan Stadium at Murnane Field, this is the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League. And tonight's matchup, the 5-8 Utica Blue Sox host the 6-7 Oneonta Outlaws. Good evening, everybody, and thanks for tuning in at a very windy Utica, New York. I'm Morgan Spriggs alongside Killian Heffron, and Killian, the Blue Sox responded from Monday's crushing blown lead to Glens Falls, the 19-1 stomping of Mohawk Valley on the road on Tuesday night. That was their first win since June 9th. And today, after a rainout last night, the Blue Sox sit well in the thick of contention, just a game back of the final playoff spot, the team directly in front of the Sox. Tonight's opponent, Oneonta. The Outlaws and the Blue Sox haven't played since opening day. Killian, what's been the story of the Blue Sox season so far?
Well, ever since that game, high-scoring games have been the overall theme of the year, both coming for the Blue Sox and their opponents. The Blue Sox offense has been hot lately, scoring 19 runs and 11 runs in their games against Mohawk Valley and Glens Falls, respectively, but their pitching has struggled. Utica is tied for the second most allowed this season in the PGCBL.
Now, the 19-1 drubbing is great for the Blue Sox, but what does that mean for Utica's season and their confidence going forward?
Well, I think it shows that the Blue Sox can have days where they are firing completely on all cylinders. We haven't seen those perfect days too much so far in this young season, but Utica's more than capable of having them, and I think their most recent performance will increase confidence in the clubhouse that they can do this more often.
The Blue Sox don't have to be perfect to win tonight, though that would be encouraged. They just have to be good enough. How can the Blue Sox translate Tuesday's performance to tonight and pick up their second win?
Well,
of the home win, of the year. Go ahead.
Well, you got to keep that offensive momentum going. As long as Utica can continue operating at a high level offensively, they should be able to do a lot of damage to this Oneonta pitching core, which seems to struggle at times in higher pressure situations.
Now, the Outlaws pitching staff has had their ups and downs like the Blue Sox, but what do the Outlaws do well that could pose a challenge for the Sox this evening?
Well, the Blue Sox can't rely on Oneonta to make mistakes in the field. They boast the league's fourth best fielding percentage, so the Blue Sox will need that offense that we've talked about to place balls into positions that their fielders can either not get to cleanly or just can't get to at all.
Now, Killian, resident weather expert here, of course, weather extraordinaire. The wind is going to be a massive factor tonight. It has been blowing all throughout the stadium pregame. It's been disrupting, getting equipment up here and knocking stuff down. How will that affect the balls in play, especially in the air? Will that help pitchers? Will that help hitters? Would that mean more home runs or less hits? What do you say?
Well, Morgan, before this game, during batting practice, we saw a lot of balls actually getting shunted down by the wind. But as this evening has gone on, you look over at that American flag out there in right field, it's starting to point more away from the field. I think as this game goes on and the wind direction continues to get a more southerly component, we could see balls fly a lot further than they did earlier in the game. Any
other factors weather-wise tonight?
Well, we might have a bit of a rain shower come through later, but not really anything guaranteed. As you said, it's very windy, very cloudy, but other than that, it's a great day for baseball here. 76 degrees, the thermometer here at the field is reading. Should be a fun one.
So unlikely we're going to have anything like the conditions that constituted Boonville's game being rained out last night?
Absolutely not. I mean, that game was certainly a bit unexpected, I would say, with the way the storms kind of formed and ended up training over Boonville long enough to rain out that game, as they don't have a turf field up there. It's regular dirt and grass. But especially at a place like Murnane Field where you got the turf, I don't think things will get canceled here very easily for just rain. I think you're going to have to get some thunder and lightning, which, yes, while that might be in the area, the chances of that impacting the field tonight seem pretty low.
Second meeting of the year between the Outlaws and the Blue Sox. The first one was disrupted in the seventh inning with lightning, thunder, and a big rainstorm. We hope for a clean game tonight, weather-wise, and see if the Blue Sox can stretch their mini winning streak to 2 games. Well, coming up, we will have the pitcher of the week in the PGCBL, John Regas, on the mound. We'll also have a pitcher for the Blue Sox in the booth for the second inning, Mikey First, fresh off of his closing performance on Tuesday, will join us in the early innings. That'll do it for this pregame show. After the national anthem and ceremonial first pitch, we will have lineups and starting pitchers for you. Blue Sox and Outlaws coming up.
Fans at this time, we ask that you please rise if you are able and kindly move your
Oh.
as we honor America. Great men and women who protect us.
I think more people will come in later. The crowd doesn't look too bad now. There could be some people.
Freshman at the Creighton School of Music at SUNY Potsdam, where she is studying music education, increasing Aaron Gaffney.
Oh, she's good. We are back, the Blue Sox and the Outlaws, after a great rendition of our national anthem. And let's take a look at the starting lineup for visiting Oneonta. Leading off at shortstop, Blake Fortunato. Vincent Duffy is the catcher, he bats second. Then it's Daniel Tome, the DH, batting third. Alex Venezia bats cleanup, he's at first. Chris Florentino, the center fielder, bats fifth. Gus Simon, the left fielder, bats sixth. Jack Lockwood, the right fielder, bats seventh. Stephen Clark, batting eighth, is at second base. Ryan Johnston, the third baseman, bats ninth. And the Outlaws are utilizing their extra hitter tonight. Bruce Mistler is the EH, batting in the 10th spot. Up against reigning pitcher of the week of the PGCBL, John Regas. He earned those honors, just allowing one run while striking out 8 in 5 innings against the defending PGCBL champion Stallions in his last outing. So Regas comes up and onto the mound with a lot of momentum, Killian.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of lofty expectations for him today, especially with, like you said, him earning that honor last week. We know he's a very talented arm on the mound, and I would not be surprised here if Oneonta's hitters might have a little bit of a pit in their stomach. You know, coming off a couple of days of rest, you got Regas thrown up here on the mound, and he's, I'm sure, going to deliver his best stuff here to start off this game.
Killian, the wind gusts, when they come, they really come and kind of sweep you off your feet. It's pretty overwhelming up here, and it probably translates to the broadcast as well.
Absolutely, and like you said earlier, with balls getting hit out of the park, earlier on during batting practice, the wind was kind of coming a bit from the other direction. We were seeing balls get knocked down, but now as this night's gone on, it shifted a little more southerly, and this field's oriented from south to north if you're looking from home plate out to the outfield. So these southerly winds are now going to start to be able to push these balls slightly more deep into the ballpark and favoring more right field than anything, obviously, with the bit of a westerly component on these winds. But it should be a windy one, as we just saw one of the Blue Sox outfielders lose their hat in the outfield during warm-ups. And I think that's really all the sign you need, that it can get a little chaotic out there with this wind. Let's see how the outfielders react to some of these early pop flies.
We are about to get underway. The Blue Sox and the Outlaws. Utica still looking for that second home win of the year. And Blake Fortunato leads off for the Blue Sox.
And continue clocking until the very first strike of the game has been thrown. Come on now, let's hear it.
I would not be shocked here to see Regas go fastball early on in these counts early in the game.
First pitch is ball 1 low, and we're underway.
And immediately, Regas had their game off.
Yeah.
So we were just talking about the winds affecting players in the outfield. That's going to affect the infield too. You might see him try to get a little wind involved on these pitches, get him to turn a little more than they normally would on his off-speed stuff.
Here comes the 1-0, and Fortunato waves and misses on the off-speed, 1-1. Fortunato a 143 batting average, but he has hit a home run, part of his 3 hits on the year. 286 slugging percentage. 1-1 from Regas is off the corner for a strike into the glove of Johnston. We'll get you the defense right after this first batter, but something interesting to note, this is Andrew Johnston's first time at catcher this season. 1-2 is flicked foul, and you see the way the wind carries the ball. That foul ball was supposed to be maybe halfway up the screen. It nearly got over the screen, meaning the netting, and over into the fans. That's wild. We may finally get a foul ball up here tonight, Killian.
Well, we've gotten one that hit the roof before, and it kind of just bounced down onto the net. But like you said, I would not be shocked if that happens in tonight's tonight.
1-2 pitch is in there for strike 3, and Regas sets down Fortunato on 4 pitches. And now let's take a look at the Blue Sox defense. Catching for Regas is Johnston. In the infield, Jacobs at first, Fry at second, Paratano at short, Carvelli in third base. Carvelli is in left field, Connor Jones is in center as usual, and Jack Sweeney takes the right field post. And now our Taco Bell K-Man, meaning a strikeout, equates to free Taco Bell. Batting second in the lineup is Vincent Duffy. Duffy, one of the strongest hitters in the Blue Sox lineup, and he takes ball 1. A 308 average for Duffy. 8 hits, 6 runs batted in. 1 gone, none on top of the first. And a 1-0 pitch is high on the fastball. It's 2-0. Wind is affecting everything going on right now, and it's a strike as Regas' hat falls off. That is how much the wind is blowing, and Alex Jacobs does the good thing and picks up his cap for him.
Well, if it's blowing that hard the surface, you can only imagine how hard it's going to be blowing, maybe 60 feet
It is like a hurricane up here right now in the booth. I can't imagine what it feels like on the field. Here comes the 2-1 pitch, and that is laced into left field. That bounces in for a single. And so that's a 1 base hit with 1 out for Vincent Duffy. And now it brings up the third hitter in the lineup for the Outlaws as the wind continues to gust. It is Daniel Tome, the designated hitter.
We've seen this a few times on the year where the balls will get hit in the left field on a line drive and then just kind of take a bit of a strange bounce that the outfielders aren't expecting. We saw it in the last game. We just saw it right now. So maybe a little something in the turf out there.
First pitch is high and away, a fastball for ball 1. There's some soda nearby in our booth, and it just tipped over right now, and nobody touched it. That's how fast the wind can get you. There's a strike. Another fastball from Regas. So he likes to pump in that hot stuff. It's already worked once in this first inning as he got Fortunato to look at strike 3. And now here comes a 1-1 pitch. Duffy's off and running. That pitch is outside. Throw down to second. It's close, but not in time. So a stolen base for Duffy, and that brings the Outlaws to a runner in scoring position situation in the first.
Yeah, not quite the tag there from Paratano to shortstop. He got his glove around, but he didn't actually make contact until the player was well on the bag, just needing to extend his arm a little bit more when trying to make that tag.
First stolen base of the game for either side and their first opportunity. Count now 2-1 to Daniel Tome with Venezia on deck. 2-1 pitch. Is a hopper in a left field. That's a base hit. Duffy goes second to third. Back-to-back singles for the Outlaws, and they're threatening in the first.
Yeah, Utica's infield there kind of just watched that one by. No one really made an attempt at it, but it was more like they were kind of confused on where that one was going to take a bounce to just because of how weirdly it got hit. Ended up taking that bounce into the outfield. But now all of a sudden, Oneonta with 2 runners on, you got a runner on third. Opportunity here to kind of punch Regas in the face metaphorically.
First pitch is in for ball 1, backing Venezia away. Well, just statistically, Alex Venezia has the worst batting average among all Outlaws, though he's only played in 6 games, but he's batting under 100. Pickoff attempt towards first. That's a close tag, but late. So trying to keep runners honest here with Artie Duffy stealing a base in this inning. So if there's any guy that Regas wants up, it's Venezia. There's a strike. Throw down to second. It's wide, and a nice job at shortstop by Peritano. Make that fry at second base, to prevent that ball from going into the outfield, which would have scored Duffy. So to reset, 2 balls and no strikes. Second and third on a windy night. That pitch is waved on and missed. Venezia has 1 hit on the year and 18 at bats, so he's really struggled, but getting an opportunity in a big spot in the lineup, a cleanup role, to prove himself and get his first run batted in or 2 of the year. Regas' 2-1 pitch. Runners creep down the line, and that's hacked foul. 2-2.
Regas started this game going really fast on his pacing. He slowed it down over the last 3 or 4 pitches, probably trying to just give himself a bit of time to rest, you'd imagine, and allow things to settle down, because Oneonta's been able to keep up with the pace very effectively. He got 2 runners in scoring position, only 1 down.
Duffy at third, Tome at second. 2-2 pitch to Venezia. Is swung on and missed. Tag applied by Johnston for strike 3, and there's 2 down. So both of Regas' outs this inning have been recorded on K's. That one swinging after the first batter of the game went down looking, and Regas with a chance to get out of it if he retires Chris Florentino. Florentino, the center fielder, with a .231 batting average. He's played in every game save 1 this season. Outside for ball 1. So Regas doesn't always throw first pitch strikes, but he usually throws second pitch strikes if it's 1-0. He's really good at getting back into counts, at least what we've seen so far tonight. 1-0. Is a bouncing ball, hit toward short, Peritano up with it, throws to first in time, and Regas gets out of the second and third jam. 2 strikeouts for Regas in the top of the first. We'll go to the bottom of the frame. Blue Sox batting when we return. We're back. Blue Sox batting in the bottom of the first, and here is Doug Dillette's starting lineup. Leading off in center field, Connor Jones. Then it's Caden Fry batting second, followed by Jack Sweeney batting third. Andrew Johnston's at catcher today. He bats in the cleanup spot. Xavier Smith batting fifth, followed by Robbie Carvelli in left. He bats sixth. Anthony Peritano, who just made the last out at shortstop, he bats seventh, and it's Bowden Fernzo, the DH, batting eighth. The extra hitter is Christian Cerrone making the start. He bats ninth, followed by Alex Jacobs rounding it out, batting 10th. Up against starting pitcher for the Outlaws, it is Asa Dugan, 3.18 ERA. It's his third appearance of the year, but it is his first start. So see what he does with the Outlaws transitioning him from a relief role, which has been his appearances so far, to a starting spot.
When you look at this Blue Sox lineup, and one thing catches your eye, Anthony Paratano hit a grand slam the other night out in Mohawk Valley. Just really good offense from him.
It was Paratano's first hit of the year. Yes, first hit of the year was a grand slam. And it was the first grand slam in at least 9 years for the Blue Sox. Here's Connor Jones leading it off. And a first pitch is going to be ball, make that strike number 1 as the appeal is over to first base to see if Jones swung, and they say he did. Dugan working fast with a 1-strike pitch. Slow curveball, nicely placed, like a Kershaw curve, 0-2.
Jones here got himself into a bit of a pickle early on. Let's see how he works this 0-2 pitch.
He watches it go down low. Blocked there by Vincent Duffy. 1-2. Infield's all playing back except first it's slightly in, more like normal depth. And a 1-2 pitch is bounded over to third. Johnston up with it and over to first for the out. Now let's take a look at the Outlaws defense. Catching for Dugan is Duffy, followed by Venezia at first base. Clark is at second, Fortunato at shortstop, and Johnston, who just made the play, is at third. Simon is in left field, Florentino is in center field, and Lockwood is in right field. And here comes Caden Fry, second baseman, batting second with none on and 1 out. First pitch is in for a strike, another breaking ball at the low part of the zone, 0-1. So the wind is completely stopped now. I think what we see happens, it's not a consistent wind, but when it comes, it's strong. 0-1 pitch way ahead of the curveball, 0-2. And Fry's in a hole, so Dugan has started out his first 2 batters ahead 2 strikes to no balls. So we're all thankful the wind isn't gusting right now. And that's a swing and a miss for strike 3. Caden Fry is down on 3 pitches, and Dugan has made it look easy so far in the first.
That was a great third offering there by Dugan. Kind of just got him to miss there on the faster pitch. But now you got Sweeney you with 2 down and no hits on the board. You got to avoid going 1-2-3 here in the bottom of the first.
Here comes Jack Sweeney up with 2 out. Takes a first pitch hack at the curveball, comes up empty. Telling you, the curveball for Dugan, it has more movement than I've seen from probably any other breaking ball by a visiting pitcher this year. Hammered towards third, but foul. And again, another 0-2 count for Dugan.
Well, Dugan's also going pretty fast on his delivery. He's not really giving the batter much time to think. So this puts Sweeney into a pretty bad position here, down 0-2 with no momentum.
That is another breaking ball, but into the dirt. So the infield's really playing back, especially Clark, who was a few steps onto the grass. Fortunato straddling the dirt and grass. And a 1-2 pitch is nicked foul along the right side. Jack Sweeney is not an everyday player in the lineup, but when he does hit, he's usually at the top of the order or near the top. And he's batting third today. 1-2 pitch is slowly rolled over to left, and near the Blue Sox dugout, it's still 1-2. So Sweeney staying alive. Blue Sox, last time they were at Donovan Stadium, they blew a 4-run lead to lose by 1, 12-11 at Glens Falls, in their worst loss of the year. Big game for them today. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Tag is applied at home plate. Impressive for Dugan. 2 Ks and a 1-2-3 first for the Outlaws. We'll go to the top of the second. 0-0.
Oneonta left fielder number 3, Gus Simon.
Left fielder Gus Simon leads off for Oneonta here in the top of the second, and we're pleased to be joined by Mikey First of the Blue Sox. How you doing, Mikey?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So you pitched the last 2 innings of the run rule game on Tuesday night. How did you feel? How did you think about your performance?
It felt good. It felt good to get out there, and the guys finally put together a good game. I just looked to get ahead, and it worked.
It's good. The pitching staff has really turned a corner these past couple of games. You've seen what Regas has done last week, earning Pitcher of the Week honors. What do you think about the pitching staff as a whole?
Yeah, we got a lot of good guys. As long as we get ahead early, fill it up, and limit the free bases, we're really good.
Top of the second here, count 1-1 to Gus Simon.
And you're hitting as well. Your hitters have been able to put up multiple 10-plus run games this season. How have they contributed to your guys' overall performance here as of late?
I mean, they're the best. They put up a lot of runs every single game, day in and day out. They put a lot of work in at the cages, and it really shows.
2-1 pitch from Regas is in there for a strike. So the pitching staff has had some challenges. They've given up some larger run totals than maybe you would have wanted in these games. What have you guys kind of told each other to, get back in a groove? As there's a fly ball in a left center field, and it will be near the wall, and a nice catch made by Jones for the out.
I mean, that's really what we push for. Fill it up, let them hit it. We got a good defense behind us, and as long as we, like I keep on saying, limit the free bases and work ahead, it works out well for us usually.
So have you guys really focused on control, not allowing a bunch of walks and hit by pitches that have sometimes plagued the staff at times?
Of course.
So 1 out after a nice play by Connor Jones in center field. John Regas on the mound, fresh off his Pitcher of the Week honors. First pitch is outside for ball 1 to Jack Lockwood.
Now, as a pitcher in games like this where there can be a lot more wind, it can be a little more hitter-friendly, does that change your approach of how you try to attack each batter?
I mean, definitely, yeah. You try to live low, not leave anything right over the middle of the plate, no mistake pitches, because, like you said, if it gets hit up into that jet stream, it has a good chance of getting out.
And we could see a jet stream today with the wind being overpowering at times, flicked into left field, and that bounces in front of Carvelli for a base hit. Now, Mikey, here with the Blue Sox, what made you choose Utica? What was your mindset in coming to the Blue Sox?
I was really coming here this summer to get better and work on my craft, and here in Utica they got a lot of resources to help me get better, a lot of good coaches, and a lot of good insight here.
Stephen Clark comes up with 1 out and 1 on. First pitch is in for a strike. How close are you guys with your fellow pitchers? Do you guys, how do you guys like to bond together, work together, and get through challenges? Just talk about what the atmosphere is like in the locker room, especially between you and the other pitchers.
It's really good. We all live together in the house down the street, so we spend a lot of time together. We're here at the field a lot, so it's a lot of bonding moments and just getting better together.
Count 0-1. Regas got out of the second and third jam in the top of the first. And now an 0-1 pitch is shallow into right field. That ball will be run down by Sweeney for out number 2.
And as a pitcher, obviously, you get a decent amount of rest days on games that you don't go in. So in those situations, especially when you're at home, what do you try to do when you're in the dugout to kind of elevate your teammates?
I mean, you just got to stay loud, keep them in the game, and make sure if they need anything, pick them up, just be behind them and be a good teammate.
Ryan Johnston, the third baseman, is now the hitter. Takes the first pitch strike on the top corner. Now, Mikey, the loss to Glens Falls last home game was probably the lowest point of the year. The Blue Sox blowing a multi-run deficit in the 9th inning. How did you guys face the challenge of coming back from that and being stronger as a team overall?
I mean, we know we're a good team. We just had to come back, get together, and just kind of look in the mirror and hold each other accountable. And then, sure enough, once we did that, stuff started to click.
Exactly. 19-1 win against Mohawk Valley in 7 innings. Of course, 1 run allowed by you and Austin Rhodes who went the bulk of it 5 innings. Of course, the offense helped with 19 runs overall. Here's an 0-2 pitch. That is in there for strike 3. And Regis strands 1. Will go to the bottom of the second. Scoreless game. We're back here in the bottom of the second. Morgan Spriggs, Louis Leibowitz, our producer, Killian Heffron, and Andrew Johnston leads off in the top of the second. Still with us, Mikey first. Again, a pleasure to have you, Mikey.
Of course, thanks
Fresh
for
off
having me.
probably the best game overall for the Blue Sox in their 19-1 win against Mohawk Valley, and a first pitch is ball 1.
Now, Mikey, baseball can be a very superstitious sport. I mean, I had friends growing up that would, before they went into a game, they would pour out a quarter of a bottle of Gatorade. Why did they do that? I don't know, but some people can be like that. So do you have any like specific superstitions you will kind of follow before you go into a game?
Not too much on game day itself, but the night before, I really like ice cream. So
Oh my gosh, what's your favorite flavor?
Cookie dough.
Oh,
Cookie dough
my
is favorite.
man.
So, yeah, I try to limit my ice cream intake because I eat a lot of it, but I gotta have ice cream before every game day.
It's now 3-1 to Johnston. Now, Mikey, you know, Oceanside, New York native, gone to college at Staten Island, and who's your favorite baseball player growing up? Is it a Yankee, a Met? There's popped up foul.
It's actually neither.
Neither.
I'm a Mets fan, so it's hard to say, but my favorite player is Bryce Harper.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just a big fan of his mentality, and I like the lefty swing. It was always very pretty to me, so yeah, I liked watching it.
3-2 pitch is hooked into left center field. That should split the gap, and it hops all the way to the wall.
Gets up legs, Johnston.
Andrew Johnston with a leadoff double for the Blue Sox, and he's loving it. Now, you say you're a Mets fan. Harper was a National for a long time and then is a Philly. How do you reckon with being a fan of a player and then kind of rooting against his team, especially when you play the Mets?
I mean, I definitely don't brag about it. When they play the Mets, I'm a Mets fan through and through. But I keep it on the low, so no one really questions that.
Okay. We'll keep it a secret.
Thank you.
Now, you said you're a Mets fan. I know the Mets, they've introduced a number of new uniforms over the recent years. What's your favorite uniform that the Mets will wear?
Ooh, good question.
They still wear the black jersey, or
they do. I think sometimes maybe
the NYC ones with like the purple accent. Are you talking about?
No, not the City.
The throwback one that says
black
Mets on the front.
I think they do still wear that.
Yeah, that's clean. I like that a lot. So.
0-1 the count to the X-Man Xavier Smith, with Johnston on at second, and there's a ball outside now. What made you a Mets fan, Mikey? Was it just your family? Was it any particular player or team that made you a fan? Of course, when you were growing up, there were some great players like David Wright, etc. So what made you a Mets fan?
I mean, for sure, David Wright was the man growing up. But like you said, I live in Oceanside, so City Field's the closest field to me. And
hopped into left center field, base hit.
Spent a lot of time going there growing up. So.
Oh, Johnson's going to go home. It's fumbled in the outfield. 1-0 Blue Sox. You look at the energy of the dugout. How much fun is it just to be on this team, especially when they're putting up runs like they are right now?
Yeah, it's super fun. Like I said, we're a close group, and we clicked since day one, so it's a lot of fun in that dugout.
So an RBI single for Xavier Smith. The outfield defense for Oneonta helps out Andrew Johnston, who scores on the play. Now here comes Robbie Carvelli with one on and out. First pitch, wave and a miss.
Now, obviously, we were just talking about the Mets, talking about baseball. Are you a fan of any other sports besides baseball? And if so,
Good question.
What teams?
So I played football all the way up till my senior year of high school. I didn't play my senior year to focus on baseball, but I definitely liked football. I'm a Cowboys fan, which doesn't really make sense to a lot of people, but yeah, that's my biggest team for sure, is the Cowboys.
Double play, ball hit to shortstop by Carvelli, and now bases empty, 2 out in the bottom of the second. Here comes Anthony Peritano, and Anthony just hit a grand slam last game. That was his first hit of the year. That was the first grand slam hit by a Blue Sox in 9 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. It was definitely a big swing, though.
Well, Anthony is making his second summer at the U. Came in a little late this season, but still obviously glad to have him, and he had a big swing there. There's ball 1 down low. So, Cowboys fan.
Yes.
What are you thinking about their offseason moves? Not great?
Not the best, but honestly, I'm a big fan of Caleb Downs in the draft. I didn't think we were going to be able to get him, but getting him is definitely big for us. Helps out the defense a lot.
That's out number 3. Mikey, a pleasure to have you with us today, and good luck on the rest of the season.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, we'll go to the top of the third coming up. Pleasure to have Mikey first join us in the second inning. It's just us two now in the top of the third. The Outlaws batting down 1-0 in the top of the third frame after 2 scoreless innings for reigning pitcher of the week, John Regas. And a first pitch sprayed ball into right field that goes foul.
And if had that ball stayed fair, that would have been gone. That
100%.
almost certainly would have been gone. That landed well past the fence, actually nearly hit a truck back there, but a little gate that exists behind the fence to border the field of play ended up stopping it.
It is now 0-2. Bruce Mistler takes ball 1. Three hits in the game for the Outlaws, all singles. 1-2 pitch is popped up in the air, foul, and it will drift out of play past Sweeney. 3 Blue Sox gave it a look. So now, you see what Regas does is he's gotten a lot of weak contact except for that fly ball hit to center field in the gap by Stephen Clark. Gus Simon. But other than that, it's been pretty much weak contact and strikeouts for Regas. Here comes a 1-2. Swing and a miss. Got him on the breaking ball, and there's 1 down.
almost a half-hearted swing there as he went for that. He kind of, I don't know if he kind of thought that, oh, this one's going to miss, but it was too late, or if he just didn't really get the power he wanted on that swing, but the Blue Sox will take it. And this game has gone really fast so far here. We're in the top of the third. We've just passed 30 minutes since the start of the game, and it's a testament to the pitching.
That bounces low to Fortunato, 1-0. Seems like the wind has quieted down just a little bit in the second inning, but of course it could come, that third inning now, actually. Second inning, it wasn't as strong as the first frame, where the strongest gust we've seen probably all season, save for opening day, came right through the press box and knocked the hat off of Rigas. 1-1 now. But what I've been thinking about what Rigas has done the first 2 innings is he's gotten runners on, and what has sometimes eluded Blue Sox pitchers is he gets outs to prevent any runs. Ground ball rolled over. That's fair. Jacobs picks it up, gets to the bag for out number 2. So you can see Rigas just getting some soft contact, and when he does get batters on, it's only on singles, and he gets them out anyway. After the singles, he doesn't allow any runners to get home.
Yeah, Rigas already with 4 strikeouts as well, so when he gets in a position where he can strike a batter out, he can pull out a fastball, he can throw you a curveball, he can do a number of things that these hitters for Oneonta just can't keep up with right now.
First pitch, fly ball, sending Jones back. He reaches up, and he can't make the catch. Or does he? He does. He fooled me. I thought the ball went behind him. Connor Jones runs it down for out number 3. How about CJ's defense in center field? Bottom of the third we go after Rigas' 3 scoreless frames. 1-0 Blue Sox. We're back here, bottom of the third inning, and Connor Jones has made 2 great plays in the outfield, one going to his right in the second inning, and then another catch to end the top of the third. Killian, how strong has Jones' defense been today?
Well, Jones' defense has just been stellar. And a lot of the defense for both sides, though, it goes both ways. 3 hits allowed out for Utica, 2 hits for Oneonta, but every ball that's been put in play that's been able to be played cleanly has been. There's been no errors so far. This is very reminiscent of what we saw the last time Utica played at home, where them and their opponents just went no error for no error, it seemed like.
Bowden Fernsler shows bunt, places it down in front of the mound. The throw to first is close. He's safe. How about the hustle from Bowden Fernsler? As Asa Dugan hesitated to throw, he thought it was an easy play. Instead, it's 1 runner on.
Well, for Fernsler right there, that's a bit reminiscent of Michael Flashner with the speed. We've seen Flashner pull that move. Fernsler takes that right there and says, okay, I can do that too. Just takes off and absolutely makes his way on the first base. And now you got Christian Cerrone coming up after him, another speedy player for the Blue Sox.
First pitch is up high for ball 1. So Dugan gave up a run after a double and then a single from Johnston, then Smith in the second inning. That's the lone run of the game. And now an infield single for Bowden Fernsler. And now the EH Christian Cerrone with 1 on and none away in the third. Pickup attempt towards first, not in time.
That's a wise decision. Fernsler is a base-stealing merchant. He will steal if you give him just any kind of room, so they're going to try their best to keep him on the bag, because if he can get going, it's going to be very difficult to catch him at second.
Runner taking off on a bouncing ball at a right field base hit. Fernsler goes first to third, sliding in feet first. On a no-out single for Christian Cerrone, and the Blue Sox have the runners on the corners. It seems like that 19-1 performance by Mohawk Valley has energized the team. Regas has looked great, the defense has looked great, and the offense is blooming here in the third inning with a 1-0 lead.
Well, it's very unlike what we saw the last time Utica played here at home. They look a lot more clean and concise on offense. And yes, they did score 11 runs in their last game offensively, but that doesn't necessarily mean things were perfect.
Steal attempt towards second base. The throw, it's close, and he's out. Christian Cerrone is caught. So that stalls the momentum and the good vibes just a little bit on a caught stealing with Alex Jacobs hitting. Swinging a pop-up, left field side over the netting.
And it almost just hit a child in the head who was not aware that that ball was coming down hard.
Watch for foul balls. I'm telling you.
There's signs everywhere here. That was close.
So Bowden Fernsler is at third on an infield single as he bunted his way to reach base, and then it went first to third on a hit. Ground ball through the hole, base hit. That scores Fernsler. Alex Jacobs has an RBI hit. And the Blue Sox double their lead in the third. It's now 2-0. So Utica feeling good. So 3 consecutive hits. Now brings up Jones at the top of the order, and CJ's had the most impressive defense of the game, running down 2 fly balls in the left center and right center alleys for outs. And now a first pitch ball high from Dugan.
And Utica still with 2 outs to go offensively here. It's plenty of time for them to do some damage. They lead this one 2-0.
Dugan's 1-0 pitch is low and in the dirt. Count 2-0. Jacobs on at first after his RBI single. Up the middle, bouncing off the mound. Nice play at shortstop. Got the force out, and a terrific double play to end the bottom of the third. What a job by Fortunato. A tricky tightrope act for a twin killing. Blue Sox get 1, but Strand 1. We go to the fourth. 2-0 Utica.
So it'll be Venezia coming on up. So here's Tome for Oneonta. He comes in on the year with a 150 average, only 3 hits and 20 at-bats on the lower end for these Outlaws as he took that first pitch for a strike. Here's the 0-1. And he stares at that one, and there for strike 2 on the outside edge. And so quickly, Regas getting ahead in the count, and it's 0-2.
Yeah. Daniel Tome singled his first time up, already raising that batting average a little bit, and tried to start off the game strong for the Outlaws offense, but Rigas shut them down after that.
So Tome quickly back in the count now. It's 2-2 after that one gets away. And now all of a sudden, Utica in a bit of a interesting position. Rigas has been great closing out at-bats and getting weak contact today, trying to do that once again. The 2-2 swung on and fouled.
Barely got a piece of it. Maybe one stitch of the ball reached the bat. That was how little contact he made on that foul ball, Killian.
Now, got a bit of sun coming back out here, as we'll do the 2-2 once again. Tome staying in the at-bat. The pitch, that one misses outside 3-2.
Well, Mikey first, when he came on in the second, he talked about the pitching staff trying to avoid free bases, meaning don't walk guys if you don't have to, don't hit a lot of hit-by pitches. And Rigas has not allowed any walks so far, so he's held to that mantra.
And that one is flying way out to left, way in the foul ground. That one will land in the practice field.
But like first said, Rigas wants to avoid walking here because, you know, walks, especially to lead off an inning, are usually a bad omen for the defensive team.
So here's the payoff once again. And that misses outside, so Rigas deals his first walk on the day, and Tome makes his way to first base.
Number 34, Alex Venezia.
So here comes Alex Venezia. He struck out his first time up in a swinging variant. And that was one of those pitches from Rigas that is honestly just unfair to the person who's trying to hit off of him, as he checks up on Tome at first base. And will now look to give his first offering to Venezia. Second time these two have faced off today. The leadoff pitch, and that one misses for a ball, 1-0.
Yeah, Alex Venezia at first, just trying to establish a comeback inning for the Outlaws. They're already down 2-0 in their second meeting of the year versus the Blue Sox. Now, what's interesting is the count's now 1-1, Killian, is that this is the second meeting of the year for the Blue Sox, both at home. Both meetings in Oneonta in 2026 will be in mid-July. So, odd way to have the matchup spaced, I would say.
Yeah, these two are going to not really get to know each other that well throughout the year. I mean, obviously they will because they play a bunch of games against each other because of how limited the size of the division is.
Right.
But you look at other teams you could play like Amsterdam. They've played them 4 times already.
And I'm sure the Blue Sox want to stop playing Amsterdam so much, giving the Mohawks have a 4-0 record against them.
Yeah, Amsterdam has not been very kind to the Blue Sox this year, but it's just how the scheduling works. You'll play some teams a lot at the beginning, play others a lot at the end, and you just got to be ready for whatever they throw at you. Rigas now to 2-1, and that one is right down the middle on the curveball, 2-2.
Well, that was a close pitch, and Rigas could have easily gone down 3-1, and you would have thought that was ball number 4 could be on the horizon once again, but instead the count 2-2, and John with a chance to strike out Venezia here.
So now here's the 2-2, the pitch. And that one misses, and the count will run full. Second straight full count here for Rigas. Infield playing at mostly normal depth. First base standing right at first to keep Tome under check. And the payoff pitch misses high, and so it's 2 consecutive walks now issued by Rigas, and that brings up Chris Florentino.
Now Rigas has allowed 3 runners to get on base before this inning, and none of them scored, so he did a nice job in ending inning strong, but he has not allowed the first hitter of the inning to get on base, let alone the first 2. So this is uncharted territory for him. See if he can get out of it.
The pitch, and that one's inside, nearly hit him. And dropping down to the dirt there is Florentino.
Yeah, you do not want to have a hit by pitch, especially one in a scary place like the head that we've seen far too much this season, and load up the bases when not out. The Blue Sox have a 2-0 lead. They want to keep it that way. I'm sure Rigas does as well.
First base playing way in, expecting a bunt, and showing bunt is Florentino, but he fouls that one off 1-1.
I would say Florentino bunting is actually a pretty smart strategy for the Outlaws because they just want to get at least a run, if not multiple, on the board. And you could get a run home by 2 sacrifices, a bunt and then maybe a sac fly to get home the lead runner. And for Oneonta, just putting runs on the board any way you can is strong. It would be a good inning.
Both runners take off. That pitch misses, no throw. It's a successful double steal there for the Outlaws, and now they move 2 in a scoring position with the count at 2-1.
And now the bunt for Florentino, he needs to be really careful because if he bunts anywhere to the left side and the runner from third, being Tome, is breaking for home, Blue Sox can try and get the lead runner out. If he bunts to the right side, that probably gets the run in.
The 2-1 swung at wildly and missed. It's 2-2.
So now the bunt's probably out of the equation unless Chris Florentino wants to be really, really risky. Because if he misses or fouls it off, he's done.
Still nobody down the side. Rigas looking to retire his first batter here of the top of the 4th. The 2-2 is fouled back, and we'll do it again.
The wind has certainly died down in the 3rd inning. We were thinking in the 1st, Killian, how the heck are we going to survive this game and just stay on the air with how fast the wind's been going? But it's died down in the 4th, and I'm pretty grateful, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm sure much to the happiness of the 2 pitchers in this game, as that wind can be unforgiving if the ball gets hit high enough. So Utica going to use all the help they can get, and the no wind is certainly going to be a part of that. The throw the first there, they'll get the out on Florentino after he swung and missed, but then the ball proceeded to drop to the dirt.
That's the 5th strikeout already for Rigas. He had 8 strikeouts in that game against the Stallions that earned him the Pitcher of the Week honors, so he really has strikeout stuff. He's nasty, some of those pitches dropping down low.
So here's Gus Simon, a 182 average on the year, has not been the strongest start to the season. He's already flown out to center in this game.
But that easily could have been an extra base hit, but Connor Jones had other ideas.
And other ballparks in this league, that ball might as well have been gone, just with
right.
how short some of the dimensions are around the league. But we know from the beginning of the year, Murnane Field not a very hitter-friendly facility to play in, and it certainly works to the Blue Sox favor on the last time up for Simon, who, speaking of which, he's now down 0-2. Rodriguez trying to work his way out of a jam with runners on 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. He already got the first one down in strikeout fashion, and now looking to finish off the second one. The 0-2. Misses outside, was trying to make him chase.
Interesting note that I've realized, Killian, about Connor Jones, and he's made 2 excellent plays in the alleys tonight, is that his last attempt to field a ball at home came in that game-tying triple in the 9th for Glens Falls. That was a hard ball to catch, and he couldn't do it. This time he's redeemed himself.
That one swung on, slightly chopped in the right base hit. 1 run will score. Staying at 3rd is Tome. And so it'll be an RBI single there for Gus Simon. And now Oneonta still with only 1 down. Now has a runner on 3rd and 1st. And an opportunity to tie this game with Jack Lockwood.
Yeah, Tome able to score easily on the play in Venezia. It would have been a risk for him to come home. So a smart play for the Outlaws and keeping this inning alive with a chance to tie likely and a chance to go ahead possible.
Leadoff pitch misses 1-0. Runners on the corners for the Outlaws in this rematch of opening day. Utica looking to jump the Outlaws and move into the last playoff spot in the East. That pitch misses, and the runner will easily take off after it was unable to be fielded cleanly there by the catcher, Andrew Johnston. And so now runners back in scoring position at 2nd and 3rd, and all of a sudden Utica back into the same position they were just in with only 1 down, and runners loading up scoring position.
Yeah, this is...
That swung on, chopped, and that will be easily played there at short and then thrown 40 out. That was Anthony Peritano that was able to make that one.
That was a nice play. That was nearly a line out But a one-hopper, nice play by Peritano to be on his knees to field the ball. But what I was saying is that Rodriguez is already allowed to run, so this is his worst inning just by default because he's allowed to run, but he's trying not to let it spiral and keep the Blue Sox in the lead. This is a big, big spot for him.
Leadoff pitch down to Lockwood. He hits this one in the right. That one will be caught in right field there by Jack Sweeney to retire to side. Sweeney able to drop back a couple of steps, reaches up the glove, and makes the catch to end the top of the fourth with only one run conceded. It's 2-1 Blue Sox as we head the break. Bryce, Sweeney, and Johnston, the 1-2-3 here as we come back, batting in the 2-3-4 spots. And leading off, it'll be Caden Fry, the second baseman, looking to reach base for the first time today. His first time up, he struck out swinging. And he hits this one into left. This will drop in for the catch by the left fielder, Gus Simon. Kind of lined that one and it kind of died on the way in.
It was really close to being a hit, but Simon ran that down. The outfield defense has been excellent for both sides today.
Here's Jack Sweeney. He also struck out his first time up, was part of that 1-2-3 inning that the Blue Sox had in the bottom of the first. Trying to do the exact opposite here in the bottom of the fourth. They lead by 1. However, Oneonta did just crack into that lead in the top of the side, or excuse me, in the top of the inning. So now here's a 1-0 to Sweeney. He stares at that one for a strike, 1-1.
Now, Killian, I may curse this game and the rest of the season for all eternity by saying this, but this feels like the first normal Blue Sox game in a long time. Not a lot of craziness, high scoring so far. Both teams are kind of playing like normal. And again, by normal, I mean that it's rather routine. Plays are made pretty easily for both sides. There's ups and there's downs, but there's a kind of a median.
That one's lined foul on the third baseline, but
this game could end 18 to 12. I mean, after me saying this, but it's a 2-0 game right now. Both pitchers are doing okay. You know, there's some big hits. There's some big strike. I mean, it just feels a little more normal than some of the games. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we've said in the past that if you come to a Blue Sox game, you can expect to see chaos, but that promise has not held up right now in this game, as this has been just a very normal, low-scoring ball game.
And we haven't seen a lot of low-scoring games at Donovan Stadium for both sides.
Sweeney facing a 3-2. He hits this one in the left. This one going back. It is gone! Jack Sweeney, a solo shot out to left, and the Blue Sox make it 3-1.
Jack Sweeney, how do you do? A line drive down the left field line, barely got out. It kissed the wall on its way out. It was so close to not going out, and it was also close to being a foul ball, but Sweeney will take that batted ball luck, and the Blue Sox are feeling good right now. They have their 2-run lead back.
Well, that's about as far into left field as you can possibly go without that being foul. That was maybe an inch from grazing the foul pole, which obviously that's still a fair ball if it does graze the foul pole, but the point still stands. That was extremely far off to the left. Not much the outfielder could do about that one. He just watched it sail, even though, like you said, it was pretty close. it's a pretty tall wall out there. Didn't really have a shot at it.
Yeah, Gus Simon was hoping that would go foul because he had no chance of catching it.
So here's Andrew Johnston, who already doubled on the night so far, trying to follow up the Sweeney homer. And ever since that Amsterdam game a couple of weeks ago, the homers have been flying here at Murnane Field.
We have said off air, Killian, given it was, I believe, game 4 at home. It was something around that. But we were talking about, will any home runs be hit in the stadium because the dimensions don't make it friendly, and now we've seen him go out all the time.
Johnson chops this one fair, fielded cleanly at third. The throw to first is in time. They got him, and that will become the second out.
And just to follow up on the no home runs thing, it wasn't an indictment of the players. It was the fact the dimensions of the ballpark just are more friendly to pitchers. But we've seen home runs every single game since that Amsterdam affair.
So here comes the X-Man, Xavier Smith. And Smith was the man to start off that home run party for the Blue Sox in that game where he nearly won for the cycle, was just missing the triple against Amsterdam. And so after Johnson grounds out, it will become now up to Smith with 2 down to try to keep this inning going.
And we're having a conversation before Smith even gets in the batter's box as third base coach coming and giving him some advice. Wonder what it is against Duke. I mean, the bases are empty. There's 2 out. But some strategy here, see if it works out for Smith, getting a little bit of a talk before his AB.
So we'll see if it had any effect on his strategy as Smith stares at the first pitch in there for strike 1. Blue Sox with 6 hits here through the 4th. And we've seen that with their offense this year. They will get high hit totals as that one that one bounces into the ground off the glove of the catcher, then off the head of Smith, and then back down in the dirt, 1-1.
And the Blue Sox are feeling good up 3-1, and they should be. They're in the lead. They're feeling good. They just hit a home run. They should be feeling good. But they could have even done even better in this game. They've hit to do double plays.
Smith lines that one sharply. Is it caught at third? They say it's not. But regardless, the outcome is the same. That will retire to side. The Blue Sox do get a run back off the Jack Sweeney homer. It's 3-1 Utica after 4. We are back here for the top of the 5th. And Oneonta will start out with Ryan Johnston, then go over to Bruce Missler and Blake Fortunato. Now, Morgan, let's get an update on what's going on around the PGCBL on this Thursday evening.
Thanks so much, Killian. We've already had 3 games postponed due to rainy conditions. The Olean Oilers and the Batavia Muck Dogs postponed. They're supposed to have a doubleheader today, and Socrates and Mohawk Valley is not happening, but the games that are going on, 7-4 Auburn on top of Elmira, and Jamestown on top of Niagara Falls 6-3. Niagara Ironbacks and Geneva just getting underway in the first. And the only game going on in the Eastern Division is 5-0 Amsterdam on top of Glens Falls.
And that Amsterdam team has been extremely strong on the year so far. It's been one of the biggest bright spots in the Eastern Division, but they have dropped a couple games in questionable fashion. As here comes the first pitch to Johnston. He wildly swings on that one and misses strike one on a pitch that was not even close to being inside the zone.
And Wes Maximo replacing John Regas. John went 4 innings, struck out 5, walked 2, and allowed just 1 run. And another strong start for Regas, and Maximo trying to carry the torch.
The 0-1 misses on the curve, and now it's 1-1. Maximo inheriting a game where only 1 run allowed for the Outlaws offense to try to bring things a little closer. It was 2-1 after the top of the 4th, but then a whole run for the Blue Sox into left field brought the lead back to right where they started when they entered the 4th inning. And so now Oneonta looking to do the same thing and maybe get a little closer. That one misses, and it is now 3-1 to Ryan Johnston. Johnston struck out looking on the day so far. It's his first time facing Maximo, and the first batter Maximo's faced in this game. Here comes the 3-1. The pitch. Swung on, lined into left. That'll drop for a base hit. So Johnston reaches for the first time tonight, and he leads off the 5th inning with a single.
The extra hitter, number 11, Bruce Missler.
Here comes Bruce Missler. He struck out on the night facing Regas, and now he will look to do damage against Maximo and advance Johnston further along the base paths. So here's the leadoff offering. Taking off is Johnston. No throw there. Strike 1 called, but making his way into second base no problem is Ryan Johnston. So Oneonta now have a runner in scoring position with nobody down. And Bruce Missler trying to maybe send him home.
Tough situation early for Maximo. Runner on in scoring position and not out.
Pitch from Maximo. That one's in there for a strike. 0-2.
What?
And so now 0-2 all of a sudden to Missler, who trying to not strike out for the second time in the night. Johnston took a big jump there, then jumped back. That pitch misses. It's 1-2. And Johnston just trying to get in the head of Maximo. Infield playing at mostly normal depth. The pitch. And that one misses, and it's now 2-2.
I want to see what Maximo's strikeout stuff looks like. Coming into this game, he had the most strikeouts all in the Blue Sox. What can he do with 2 strikes? What pitches does he have in his arsenal to get batters out?
So time called. Stepping out of the batter's box is Bruce Missler. He will hang out just outside of the right-handed box. And then we'll take a step back in and be ready to face the 2-2 from Maximo. Johnston in scoring position on second. He reached on a single and stole a base. Here's the 2-2 with nobody down. That pitch misses high, and now the count runs full. Trying to get Missler to walk back to his dugout unfulfilled is Maximo. Runner takes off at second, swing and a miss, strike 3. But stealing third is Ryan Johnston, who now has 2 stolen bases just in his trip around the base pass right now alone.
Yeah, it's kind of a win-lose situation for Maximo. Runner moves over to third, but I think he's better to just have one runner on at third than a possible ball 4 and a walk. Would have been his 8th walk of the year, Maximo, if he issued it, but he didn't.
So here's Blake Fortunato. And he starts at that one outside 1-0.
I think if you're Maximo and if you allow this run to score possibly on like a sac fly or something like that, and you keep it 3-2, but you keep the Blue Sox in the lead, I think given the way the inning started, I think you take that as a win.
That one's fouled back, evens up the count at 1.
Of course, you don't want to settle for just allowing the run. You don't want him to score in the first place, but certainly likely that Ryan Johnston will come around and score, especially we've seen his speed on this trip around the bases.
And I wouldn't be too shocked if the third base coach gives him the all good to just go ahead at any point of contact. I mean, we know he's fast enough. As long as it can get maybe slightly past the plate, he should be able to reach no problem. That one fouled off way out to left, and it will land somewhere in the trees back there, 1-2.
Of course, already 2 steals for Johnston. Of course, well in the back of everybody's minds is, are we going to see steal a home this year? I don't think so, at least today, but it's always possible.
So now the 1-2, the pitch. And that one misses high, and the count evens up at 2. Blake Fortunato, it's his 3rd time up on the day. He struck out looking and trying to get on the bag and advance the runner home. That pitch, did he go around? Yes, he did. Strike 3.
The strikeout stuff from Maximo in full effect, up to 14 strikeouts on the year.
The catcher, number 10, Vincent Duffy. Again, Duffy is tonight's Taco Bell K-Man. He strikes out.
So here's the Taco Bell K-Man. It's his 3rd time up for Vincent Duffy. He singled and flown out on the night, but not struck out yet. And what a time this would be here for Maximo to get the strikeout and get out of this little jam. Lead off. That one curves inside 1-0. It's been 2 straight strikeouts for Maximo, both coming in the swinging fashion. Here's the 1-0. And that one misses, and quickly ahead in the count is Duffy, 2-0. Infield playing deep, hoping to just get him to ground an easy one in and make the easy play the first. Outfield playing somewhat shallower in left, but at a normal depth everywhere else. And 2-1. A couple of early taco chances there.
Yeah, tacos and 1 strike. You got to wait until there's 2. Is this? We got a couple of rookies.
The people want their tacos. Here's the 2-1. That one inside nearly hits him, and the count runs to 3-1. Blue Sox have not hit a batter yet on the day, but they've come close multiple times during this at-bat as Duffy's nearly gotten hit 3 times now on all 3 balls. Here's the 3-1. Fastball in there for a strike. Duffy did not think so. He was taken off, but
he was a quarter of the way down the line, Killian. How embarrassing, especially if he strikes out and is serenaded with tacos on his way back to the dugout. That would be brutal.
So now the pressure on for Duffy, who thought he was out of giving the fans tacos, but he might have to do it right here. Full count, 2 down. The pitch is chopped. It'll be an easy play at first base for the out. No runs will score, but no tacos for the fans. It remains 3-1 Utica after 4.5. Don't go anywhere. So here comes Robbie Carvelli to start us off here in the bottom of the 5th inning. He grounded into a 6-4-3 double play his first time up in the 2nd inning, hoping for a better result than that this time up. And looking to extend the Blue Sox lead after a Jack Sweeney homer pushed it back to 2 runs. He grounds the first pitch to short. It's an easy throw to first base, and that retires Carvelli for the 2nd time tonight, and the 2nd time in ground out fashion. And here comes Anthony Paratano walking out to perfect timing by Shador Sanders.
By Shador Sanders?
By the Shador Sanders.
Like,
as in the Cleveland Browns quarterback.
He does music?
Well, he did this one song. I'm unsure if he has any others. And I know this because Colorado would play this after he scored a touchdown when he was playing under Coach Prime and the Buffaloes.
Sure, the Browns aren't playing it a lot these days, I guess.
It's been a rough few years for them.
It's been a rough life.
Here's the one to know. This one's flied into left field. This one's going back, but settling under it and making the catch there to retire Paratano is Gus Simon. I had some hope there, but the wind did not help that one out.
Now, this is a good song. I wonder where this guy is now.
Not making music anymore.
Really? Can the audience even... It's Michael Jackson. If the audience can hear, it's Michael Jackson. Greatest artist of all time.
Bowden Fernsler stares at the first one, 0-1.
Enough with music, of course, but I love seeing all the walk-up songs, and I would say almost all of them are good. Most of them, pretty much. Got a lot of great taste in the Blue Sox.
That one's flied into left field. This one's going back, and settling under it once again is Gus Simon to retire to side. So 2 almost balls that the crowd thought was going out do not go out. It remains 3-1 after 5 innings of play. 1-2-3 inning for Oneonta. Wes Maximo able to get out of a jam with a runner on third last time up. Now we look at a couple of his stats. Morgan, take it away.
Thanks so much, Killian. A 7.88 ERA entering this game for Maximo. 12 Ks entering tonight. Of course, he's added to that total to just 7 walks entering this game. So Maximo has been really good at avoiding the balls in relation to his strikes. The most Ks of any pitcher in the Blue Sox so far this year. And he just knows how to throw strikes. We saw with the runner on at third, I said maybe concede a run in a sack and get out of here with just 1 run allowed. That would be a good situation for Maximo, but he didn't allow that run. That was some nice work.
And what a curve there on that one by Maximo, and it's quickly 0-2 to Daniel Tome. Tome has singled and walked on tonight. This will be the first time he doesn't reach base on his 3rd time up. 0-2 coming from Maximo. The pitch. Swung on and missed. But the throw the first after the catcher dropped the ball, and that will end up getting him there. So it'll go down in the books as a strikeout against Daniel Tome. So here comes Alex Venezia.
Number 34, Alex Venezia.
He struck out and walked on the night so far. Not been the most productive night for him, but what a time this would be to turn that around. As we're already in the 6th inning here, it's been a fast game, only 8 o'clock, and we're in the 6th. Usually it's the exact opposite. It's usually 9:30 by the time we get to the 6th with how high scoring some of these Blue Sox games have been this year.
We had a 45-minute 4th inning at one point. I think that was the Amsterdam game that we've talked at length about. That 16-12 game, which the Mohawks won.
The infamous Amsterdam game, and it was a...
Would you say infamous? I mean, aren't all of them infamous for the Blue Sox if you're 0-4?
I mean, that's fair, but I feel like with what happened in that one, just how high scoring it was. And
It was pretty wild,
How many
yeah.
lead changes.
I think it was the most famous. I wouldn't say... I don't know. It was definitely the most memorable, with Smith getting those extra base hits, that home run and the double.
There was definitely plenty to write home about in that game. This game hasn't been as chaotic, but much to the enjoyment of the fans who haven't had to sit through 3 hours and 40 minutes of baseball on the night. And this one from Venezia is grounded to short. Easy throw, the first made for the 6-3 ground out, and the second batter retired of the side. And so here comes Chris Florentino. He is grounded out to short and struck out on the night. He's also searching for, or excuse me, he is searching for his first time on base on the game, the center fielder. And an opportunity for Wes Maximo to continue rolling things along. Leadoff pitch, swinging strike, 0-1.
What's interesting about the offense for Oneonta is they haven't had any extra base hits in the game. Blue Sox have been the only ones. They had that double by Johnston with Mickey first on the mic earlier, and then, of course, the 4-base hit for Sweeney in a left.
The 0-1 pitch, that one misses 1-1. Over half this baseball game gone by. 3-1 Utica lead. They have 6 hits compared to Oneonta's 5. No errors committed on either side. And a 1-1 pitch coming to Florentino. He fouls that one off. It's 1-2. And now Maximo an opportunity to go 1-2-3 on the inning. If he's able to reach, it would be Gus Simon coming up next, who has an RBI on the day from a base hit. Which led to the only Oneonta run on the game so far. Maximo trying to make sure he doesn't have to face him until at least the 7th. The pitch, that one is swung on. It is chopped to short. The throw to first is in time.
Peritano's made some nice plays, Kellyanne.
And Peritano makes another beauty right there. Squeaks that one right up into his glove and makes the throw to first. No trouble there. Utica remains perfect in the field for the 6-3 ground out. Side retired. Blue Sox come up to bat looking to extend their lead. Coming up next. Don't go anywhere. Five and a half innings down here at Murnane Field. Blue Sox coming up for their 6th time on the night. And Christian Cerrone will start things off for the Blue Sox. Utica went 1-2-3 in the bottom of the fifth with 2 flyouts and the ground out. It's Cerrone followed by Jones and Fry as the 3 due up for the Blue Sox. The first pitch in their first strike, 0-1.
And Asa Dugan still in the game. He's been pretty effective. Three runs allowed is no slouch, given some of the great pitches, especially those curveballs that he's used. But the Blue Sox have gone to the bullpen already with multiple innings for Maximo, and Dugan's still in. Interesting to see the different strategies pitching-wise.
That pitch there was fouled back. It's now 0-2. And immediately Cerrone in a bit of trouble. We know when he reaches bases, he's fast and he can steal, so I'm sure the Blue Sox are going to be hoping for that prospect as he can get himself in the scoring position relatively easily with his speed.
Cerrone, last time up, he was caught stealing, so he's got to be careful that he doesn't do it again if he gets on.
1-2. That one is ripped on the ground to third. The throw to first is in time to retire Cerrone. So 1 batter up, 1 batter down. The Bat Boys race for the bat. One of them ends up coming out on top and knocking the other one to the ground. And this will bring up Alex Jacobs. Jacobs with an RBI on the night already off of a single. Leadoff pitch to Jacobs, and he kind of half swings at that, fouls it nearly into the Blue Sox dugout. A couple of Blue Sox had to jump out of the way of that one. Utica looking to win their first game at home since May 31st.
It was the Mohawk Valley game in which the Blue Sox walked it off in the 10th on a Xavier Smith sacrifice fly with kids in attendance. It was Kids Day Out. It was a morning game. So if the Blue Sox win, there'll be a lot of first on the year. First home win in a night game. If they don't go to extras, we first win in a 9-inning game at home.
That one swung on and grounded into right field for a base hit. And so making his way on to first base is Alex Jacobs. He's got his second single on the night.
So the first baseman has 2 one bases.
Now you look at this Blue Sox schedule. This is their last home game this week. Next week they play home on Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. 5 home games next week. It's the most the Blue Sox will play in a week all season. As here's the leadoff pitch to Jones. He popped that one way back foul, takes a bounce off the ceiling, and rolls onto the pavement.
And Killian, with the way the schedule is set up, I think, especially if the Blue Sox hold on and win today, they'd be tied for the last playoff spot in the Eastern Division. And with those 5 home games in 1 week, they can get to a really nice rhythm and possibly rip off a few wins in a row.
Now you look at that brief little homestand. Obviously, there's 1 road game against Mohawk Valley mixed in there, but they play Boonville and Socrates twice. That coming on Sunday, Monday, and Friday, Saturday. But they also play a team that they've grown quite familiar with in the Amsterdam Mohawks, who they have not beaten yet this season through 4 matchups. So
Arch enemy of the Blue Sox, I tell you.
I'm sure that matchup will be sitting in the back of their minds as they enter this week of chaos next week, as swinging through that one and missing was Jones, 1-2. Connor Jones with 1 down, facing the 1-2, and he has Alex Jacobs on first base. Jones swings on this one, flies it into right, and dropping back and making the catch with a bit of a problem there was Jack Lockwood. You could see the wing kind of take that one at the last second. Lockwood had to take an extra couple of steps back after he initially planted his feet.
But but Lockwood kind of adjusted to that wind. That's been a factor all game. Not as big of a factor as it was in the first inning when it was blowing caps off pitchers like John Regas and whatnot, but we still had no errors in this game. And it's been really good defensively all the way around.
So an easy fielder's choice there to second base. That will retire to side. Utica will record 1 hit there in the bottom of the 6th, but no runs and no errors. It remains 3-1 after 6 innings of play. 7th inning stretch coming up next.
left fielder number 3, Gus.
We are back here in the top of the 7th. Wes Maximo on for his 3rd inning of work, facing Gus Simon for his 3rd at-bat of the game. Gus 1 for 2 with an RBI single in the 4th. 3-1 Blue Sox, eyeing that elusive 2nd win at home. First pitch from Wes. It hits him on the head. So a inauspicious way to start Maximo's 3rd inning.
Right fielder number 4, Jack.
And Simon's on base for the 2nd time as he got plunked in the head. It's the first hit by pitch of the game. So with 1 on, here comes Jack Lockwood. He's 1 for 2. Singled in the 2nd, then grounded out to shortstop. Paratano's been great over there in the hole, making several fine plays. First pitch is up high and away. Maximo got the Outlaws 1-2-3 last inning. He gets struck out 3. Here comes the 1-ball pitch. Runner holds. That's high for ball 2. So 3 pitches in, Maximo's not where he wants it to be. 2-0 the count with a runner on already.
Well, let's see Maximo here try to just keep things short and
Pick up attempt towards first, and the throw gets away. And that's going to move over Simon.
we'll see what that one ends up getting scored as. I'd imagine it's E3. It's either E1 or E3, but
They're calling it an error regardless to advance Simon over. So that's the first error of the game for Utica.
it was a low throw, but the first baseman made contact with the ball, though. So
I think that was a low throw. I would call it an E1 personally, just from what I saw. And Maximo just trying to settle down here in his 3rd inning. 2-0 the count. Pitch to Jack Lockwood is lined and foul. 2-1. Wind has calmed down ever since that incredibly gusty 1st inning. The gusts still pop in every now and again to remind us that it's still there and still threatening, but there's been no rain or thunder and lightning like we saw when the Outlaws played the Blue Sox on opening night. Spinning pickoff attempt towards second. That was close as Paratano tried to apply the tag. Maximo having the guts to throw over to second when he already made an error throwing over to first. That was a solid throw, but just a little late. So Gus Simon representing the 2nd run of the game for Oneonta. He's already driven in a run on a single. Count 2-1. Maximo checks the runner. Staring him down. And the umpire stops play to signify that Lockwood is taking a batter timeout right before Wes Maximo unleashed that pitch.
yeah, I don't think Lockwood could have gone any later than that.
Yeah.
With
He
the
waited to the
umpire
last
allowing
possible
it.
moment, that's for sure.
But it throws Maximo off, and that's a good job there by Lockwood to get into his head a little bit. Already with a runner on second, nobody down.
2-1 pitch is fastball outside, and you wonder at what point, how long does Maximo go in this game? Can he get out of the situation he's in right now and prevent any runners from scoring? It's a little tougher than it was in his 1st inning.
Well, he also had a runner on third in his 1st inning, though. He doesn't have that right now. So he's got that going for him. Obviously, a single would still most likely bring it to a 3-2 game.
There's ball 4 and a walk to Jack Lockwood.
Second baseman number
1st and 2nd with none out. So not a start that Maximo wants in his 3rd inning of work. And the Blue Sox infield will convene as Utica makes a mound visit. And I think this is a great time for one. Clark is due up next, and then Johnston, who's singled, followed by Mistler, who struck out twice. Stephen Clark has flown out to Jack Sweeney in right field twice.
There's a ton of movement in the Blue Sox bullpen. Nobody coming out yet, but I wouldn't be surprised here if Maximo starts struggling a little more that they have to bring him someone out to try to remedy it.
What do you think the line is to bring in a new pitcher, Killian? At what point does Coach Gillette pull the trigger? if at all.
Well, I would say here, if Maximo is unable to get things under control and he walks him loaded, that might be when you start to think about bringing him in. I mean, definitely on a single, I would say you most likely would get a pitching change as the run will come in and score against Maximo, who's already struggled early on the side here. So a lot of ways that manager Doug Gillette could go with this.
To the plate, Stephen Clark. 0 for 2. His first hit of the game likely brings in the second run. First and second occupied, none out in the top of the 7th. Oneonta trailing by 2. Another spinning pickoff throw towards second is way tardy. Maximo is just in his head a lot about the runners on base. Maybe the fact that he's not focusing at home as much, given all the pickoff attempts, that he's losing batters. Now the first pitch to Clark is just outside, ball 1. That's a tight strike zone.
Well, Maximo here just got to try to get him to maybe jam a ball ground and maybe pick up a double play off the force, but definitely in a bit of a jam.
Fly ball off to the right and foul. Well, this is the most common situation for a triple play. If the ball goes to Xavier Smith and it's hit at just the right tempo, we could see something crazy happen. Though, of course, I'm sure Stephen Clark realizes that. So he's going to try and hit it to the right side. And on cue, this is to the right, and the ball gets over the head of Sweeney as he twists and can't make the play. This is going to score at least 1 run. The ball keeps on rolling. Here comes the relay throw to the plate. It's offline, the tag, and he's out. And wow, this game remains in favor of the Blue Sox. I thought for sure that this game would have been tied up on an extra base hit. It turns out it's just 3-2.
Yeah, and dugout for Oneonta is not pleased with that decision at all. It was extremely close. I personally don't have a call on that from up here with how close that was. I think that's one of the plays if this were Major League, that would have absolutely gone to review of how close that was. But what an effort there to get in to first off make that throw, but then to dive back in the way and get the tag.
Incredible job by Johnston in his first game at catcher. The throw was not particularly accurate, but it was done in enough time that Johnston could go and race across from where he was retrieving the throw and apply the tag. First pitch is in for a strike. After all that, to Ryan Johnston. So that goes down as an RBI double, and caught running at home plate is Jack Lockwood, and he was immediately upset. Count 0-1. Looped into right center field. Moving on it is Jones. He gives way to Sweeney, who makes the catch for out number 2. So Wes Maximo still on the mound. He allowed that double, but great defense by the catcher Johnston has kept this game in favor of Utica. And if Maximo can get Bruce Mitzler out here, he will exit the inning without coughing up the lead. After the F9, here comes Mistler, excuse me. He has struck out twice, both swinging. First pitch is pumped in there, 0-1.
And if Maximo is able to get out of this with only 1 run allowed, starting with runners in scoring position with nobody down, I think this is a very successful way here for him to end it, and very realistic for just the situation he was in.
That's ball 1. It would just go to show you, again, we can't get ahead of ourselves. Oneonta could have a big explosion here, but if Missler gets out and it stays 3-2, this goes to show the development of the Blue Sox staff. When an earlier game, maybe they could have given up more. 1-1 is on the corner for a strike. Of course, the big play in this inning, the throw out for Lockwood coming to the plate following Simon couldn't score the 3rd run of the game. We'll make sure to look at that in between innings and see if that was the right call. But now 1-2 is swung on and missed, and Maximo gets out of the inning, just allowing the run. The big tag out at home plate by Johnson against Lockwood is critical on a controversial call, especially from the Outlaws' perspective. But we'll go to the stretch. 3-2, Blue Sox in front. We return here after the 7th inning stretch for the bottom of the 7th. And Killing, we checked the tape on that throw home to get Jack Lockwood and prevent the game from being tied. And what did you see there?
Well, it was extremely close. I'll preface it by saying that, but he was out by maybe an inch at most. It was a great effort by everyone involved to just get into the right position to make that play. And the Blue Sox have the lead because of it.
First pitch, a slow curveball from Dugan, still in the game for his 7th inning of work, facing Jack Sweeney, and it's 0-1. I have to tell you, Johnston made one of the most impressive plays by a catcher all season. 0-1 pitch is well hit into center field, carrying back at the wall, and it's gone for a home run! Jack Sweeney's done it again! 2 Jacks in one game, and the Blue Sox extend their lead. It's 4-2.
will take it all in. You might not see a homer hit to that part of the park again this season. That was to dead center. 390 to center, and that one cleared it by at least 15 feet. What a bomb in the center field.
It wasn't intentional when I said back-to-back jacks, referencing the name of the hitter who just torched that, but back-to-back jacks for Jack. Look at that. Sweeney hits it out again. And now here comes Johnston after all that hoopla. First pitch is a fastball up high, 1-0. So the Blue Sox getting Jack Sweeney to hit 2 out of the park. That's hit well into left field on a line. It is caught by Gus Simon for out number 1.
And Morgan, I don't know if you saw the bench reaction when that happened, but I mean, that was probably the most excited I've seen the Blue Sox bench this year. Someone in the dugout has I can only describe it as a giant inflatable pickle that they brought out for each home run, and they slammed it on the ground.
That's a celebration, yeah. Here comes the X-Man with 1 out and none on in a 4-2 game. That ball is inaccurate from Dugan, to say the least. It bounces a few feet before the plate. That's one he'd like to have back.
And Dugan, unfortunately, they're getting hit with the metal pipe falling sound effect from PA announcer Tim Best. We haven't heard that one tonight.
I think that was a pretty apt saying. It's 2-0. That's low. Well, Jack Sweeney, if you look at his home runs, going into this game, he just had 1. That was on the road. So not only has he hit more home runs tonight than the rest of the season for him, these are his first 2 homers at Donovan Stadium.
And last year's team leader for homers was R.J. Tomei. He had 3. Sweeney has now tied that mark, and we're not even halfway through the season yet.
The power has been there this season, especially ever since the first couple of games where it was absent. 3-0, just off the lower corner into the mid of Vincent Duffy for strike 1. Blue Sox just feel more energetic, as that's ball 4. A 5-pitch walk to the X-Man, and Xavier Smith will take his trot over to first. So ever since that game against Glens Falls, where they blew a 4-run lead entering the 9th inning to lose 12-11, they destroyed the Diamond Dogs 19-1 in a run rule game. And now it's 4-2 again. Far from over. The Outlaws could make it a comeback, but you just see the energy in this team. They're feeling a little more connected, I would say.
Absolutely, and I think all those homers did was just continue to rejuvenate them. It just looks like a completely different Blue Sox team from the one we saw last time they were here. Now, obviously, like you said, stuff can change. There's plenty of game left to play. But if you're Utica, I think you're really happy with where you are right now. And if they can tack on another couple of insurance markers, I think with how their pitching's been in this game, they're going to start feeling really good.
Another mound visit here for the Outlaws. And Dugan still on the mound. Brings up left fielder Robbie Carvelli. He's 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice, 1 into a double play. Both times hit to shortstop. So let's see what Robbie can do. And the Blue Sox really want to make this game comfortable for them. They don't want to have to be sweating it out in the late innings. 4-2 advantage. Off the end of the bat and foul to the right side, 0-1. Just past 8:30 here in Utica, New York. One of the most fast-moving games of the season. In the air to right field. Lockwood retreats back and squeezes out number 2.
Well, Utica's been getting a lot of deep hits tonight. Some of them obviously haven't been going out, but they've been able to get a lot of power on their fly balls tonight. And I think there's a lot for them to build on with that. 2 homers on the evening already, a number of balls that were almost gone.
Here comes Anthony Paratano. Hit a grand slam against Mohawk Valley. 0 for 2 tonight, but it's made some excellent plays at shortstop. He's really made him look easy. It's now 1-0. Smith on at first as he took a walk. He's a Dugan on the mound, possibly for the last inning. as he's given up 4. It's now 2-0. You look at the PGCBL games going on. We're going to start in the game that's going on in the Eastern Division. Amsterdam beating Glens Falls 12-1. So the Mohawks continue to impress. 2-0 pitch from Dugan. Just in there off the outside edge. So Saugerties and Mohawk Valley postponed. And then in the Western Division, we got Auburn leading Elmira, Niagara beating Geneva, and Jamestown on top of Niagara Falls. 2-1 the pitch. Fastball just missed high, 3-1. So a chance for back-to-back, make that 2 walks in the inning for the Blue Sox.
And with 2 down the side, this would be huge for the Blue Sox to get that runner in the scoring position and allow them to extend their lead with a single if he were to get walked right here, but let's see.
2 out and 1 on, and the pitch is high for another 5-pitch walk. Second of the inning. So a free pass to Paratano his first time on base, and now it's Bowden Fernsler. He's bunted his way on base on an infield single in the third and then flew out to left. 1 for 2. Following Fernsler, it would be Cerrone to hit next.
And this looks like it's going to be the end of the road here for the starting pitcher, Asa Dugan, who has now gone nearly 7 innings with only 4 runs allowed and 8 hits allowed. But, I mean, he had himself a night tonight for sure, Morgan. I mean, it was a very, very strong performance out on the mound. There wasn't much that the Blue Sox were able to get off of him, and when they were, it was usually in the form of the long ball.
Jack Sweeney hitting 2 home runs off of Dugan. We will take a break. First pitching change of the game for Oneonta with the Blue Sox up by 2. First pitching change of the game for the Outlaws, bringing in Owen Blue, replacing Asa Dugan. 8 hits allowed by Dugan. He walked his first 2 batters of the game in the last inning, struck out 2, and he has allowed 4 earned runs so far, but he is responsible for the runners on base at first and second. Johnston at second and Paratano, make that Smith at second and Paratano at first. And the first pitch is low for ball 1 to Fernsler.
Now Owen Blue now in on the game for Oneonta has a ERA of 27. And he's only pitched 2 innings, allowed 5 hits and 6 runs.
Well, Blue trying to have a better outing today than he started the season pitching. It's now 2-0 to Fernsler. Blue Sox smelling blood in the water, possibly. 2 out, though.
And that came over 2 appearances, so 1 inning pitched in each game he's been in.
2-0. There's a strike. Fastball only lowers half of the zone. So Blue just needs to get out here and escape the inning and keep this game 4-2 for the Outlaw offense to do some work and coming back. 2-1 pitch is another strike. Fastball called to Fernsler. Blue Sox a game back of the Outlaws in the Eastern Division standings. Top 4 teams get in, and Oneonta is in the 4th spot. So with the Blue Sox win, they'll be tied for the final playoff spot in the division. 2-2 pitch is swung on and missed. And the throw over to first completes the K and ends the inning. The Blue Sox do get a run on a Jack Sweeney homer. We'll go to the 8th, 4-2, Utica. We return to action in the top of the 8th. Blue Sox lead the Outlaws 4-2. Shortstop Blake Fortunato leads it off for Oneonta, 1-2-3, facing Wes Maximo. Wes on for his 4th inning of work after he escaped the 7th, with just 1 run allowed. First pitch is a pop fly into left field. Foul ground. Smith moves over, and it's over his head. So what do you think of the decision to keep Maximo in? He's been pretty effective, but he had his most dicey inning in his last frame in the 7th.
Well, it's very uncharacteristic of Doug Dillette to keep his pitchers in for this long, but it's been working. Yes, he got into a jam, but he's been able to get out of those jams consistently tonight, and we saw that with Rigas, too, when he was in the game. So I like the decision to keep Maximo in, just with how his night's been going and his ability to get out of these jams. He hasn't shown too much fatigue, and I think Utica can definitely continue to build off that, as Oneonta is only down to 6 outs remaining before they have to have this game tied.
The 0-2 pitch. It swung on and missed. Maximo with another strikeout. 1 down in the 8th. That's the 5th strikeout for Maximo, and if he gets his 6th here against Duffy, we got tacos for all. Vincent, 1 for 3, singled in the first, and then has flown out to center and grounded out to first. First pitch is a wave and a miss on the curve in the dirt. So nothing but strikes so far this inning for Maximo, and it seems like, at least so far, Doug DeWett's decision to keep Maximo in has worked. See if it continues here. Infield all back. On an 0-1, that's low. 1 ball and 1 strike. This night's turned out to be pretty nice. There was some threats of rain, storms in the area. That's subsided for the most part. The wind has really cooled down. On a 1-1 pitch is a slower fastball. That finds the top corner, 1-2. And a chance at tacos.
And Duffy was in this position earlier tonight, and he ended up grounding out. So anything to not give the fans their free tacos.
Maximo fires home a 1-2 pitch. Swung on and hammered into the left center field gap. There's a long run by Jones, and he can't run it down.
Did he catch that ball?
Did he catch that?
I think he caught that ball. Yeah, he's out.
Unbelievable, Connor Jones. He's done it again. I was just looking at the events around me. Looked like everybody else thought it was in for a hit, except for Connor Jones, who had the final say. What a grab.
That is an unbelievable grab by Jones. It sprints back a good 40, 50 feet, and then extends all the way.
Sprayed foul to the left side to Tome. Connor Jones has made 3 plays like that today. This one to the left center field gap. CJ with the hops. Once again, 0-1 for Maximo. That's in the dirt for ball 1. So clean game defensively for both sides, except for the 1 error, and that was a pickoff error at first base. So I would still consider today pretty much a win for the defense for the Blue Sox.
Absolutely, and the Blue Sox defense has kind of just turned a new leaf over the last week or so. Earlier in the season, they were going consistently 4 or 5 error games, but they've cut that down. Only committed 1 so far tonight. Obviously, there's still baseball left to play, but it shows that the Blue Sox have been learning from their mistakes, and they're getting better, and it's something that they can really build on as this year goes on.
2-1 pitch is yanked foul, and it's 2-2, so a chance for Maximo to end the inning with a strikeout and mark his 3rd scoreless inning. 4-2, Blue Sox in front in the 8th. And Wes's 2-2 pitch induces a fly ball to center field, and it's the main man defensively, Connor Jones, with a much easier play than out number 2. He backs up and makes the catch, and that's out number 3. And Maximo's 8th inning goes smoothly. And we continue on tonight in Utica with the Blue Sox up 2. Owen Blue still on the mound for the Blue Sox, facing Christian Cerrone to lead it off, followed by Alex Jacobs, and then it's to the top of the order with Connor Jones. And the offense hasn't been as explosive as recent games, Killian. That was 11 runs against Glens Falls and 19 against Mohawk Valley, but 4 runs has been enough so far.
Well, sometimes you don't need your offense to go absolutely haywire, and their defense has helped them lock down today, and I'm sure their offense would love to add a couple of runs before they face the top of the ninth, but it's been a solid game by the Blue Sox so far on the night.
Count 1-0. Blues pitch is a ground ball, hit to third base, and Johnston on his knees makes a nice hopping throw over to first for the out. Well, as we go to the 10th hitter in the lineup, what's crazy to know is the game against Mohawk Valley, the Blue Sox won in a 7-inning game on Tuesday, 19-1 final, was the largest margin of victory in franchise history. I mean, that was a record set. What a way to get off the losing skid.
And I'm sure that completely stunned Mohawk Valley, too, who have struggled themselves as of late. And if we take a look at the league standings, currently in first place is Amsterdam, who it's not too surprising that they made their way up there with what they've shown against the Blue Sox this year. But Mohawk Valley has now dropped 3 straight. They went from 9-4 to 9-7, and they're now sitting in third place. And Utica sitting at 5-8. Glens Falls over them at 5-7. It's certainly going to be interesting to see how the Blue Sox are able to work over these next few games with this homestand coming up. And the push for the playoffs does kind of start soon when you got everyone kind of tight together. I mean, Boonville's furthest in the back, 6.5 behind, but it's not unsurmountable by any stretch.
First 2 pitches are balls, and that one's in there for a strike on the fastball from Blue. Infield's all back with Clark on the grass and Fortunato playing deep at short as well. Johnston's also back as well. 2-1. There's a strike. That looked to be a little low, but the count goes even. 4-2 our score. Blue Sox in front. Last of the 8th. 3 more defensive outs to get for their second home win of the year and first in a while. In on the hands, a little trickler towards first, and Venezia gives way for the second baseman Clark to throw him out, and there's 2 away. Nice cover there by Blue.
Fielder number 1, Connor Jones.
Here comes Connor Jones. He's been a star in the outfield, making 3 amazing running catches, but with the bat not as impressive. 0 for 3 tonight. He's grounded out once to third and once in a double play fashion in the third, and then his last time up he flew out to right field. So seeking that first hit with 2 out and none on. Utica leading by 2. First pitch from Blue. Gets away to the backstop. So there's been a couple pitches in this inning for Blue that have been pretty wild all the way to the backstop, but with nobody on, it doesn't mean anything in terms of runners on base. Count 1-0 to Jones, who has the ability to hit one far. This one is a comebacker right to the mound. The underhand flip from Blue to Venezia at first ends the inning. To the top of the 9th we go. Can the long wait finally end? The Blue Sox looking for their second home win of the year. 3 outs away from that. Stay with us. Top of the ninth. Blue Sox 3 outs away from a win with Killian Heffron, Morgan Spriggs, and Killian. Wes Maximo's on for his 5th inning, trying to close it out after John Regas went 4. A lot of trust being placed in Wes right now.
Well, he's shown he can handle it so far on the night so far, and it's been a solid outing for him. Only 1 run allowed on the evening, and it's a game that's going by quick. He hasn't thrown too many pitches. Obviously, 5 innings pitches count starting to get up there a little bit, but obviously manager Doug Dillette has the confidence in Maximo to close this one out and end the game for the Blue Sox and give them their first home win since June 1st.
That win was a walk-off against Mohawk Valley. So if Utica closes the deal here, it would be their first time winning a game at Donovan Stadium by recording the final out. Alex Venezia leads off. He will be followed by Chris Florentino and Gus Simon. Venezia, 0-for-2, he has walked. First pitch from Maximo is low and a nice slide by Johnston. 1-0. Johnston behind the plate today made a huge tag out to get Lockwood to keep this game 3-2. It's now 4-2. 1-0 pitch is a high fly ball in a right field. Room for Jacobs in foul ground, and he gives way for Fry, and neither can make the catch. It won't go down as an error, but that was an out the Blue Sox could have gotten.
Well, it's a new lease on life for Oneonta. Could have easily just been down to their final 2 outs, but instead it's just 1-1.
Will that cost the Blue Sox? We don't know yet. But in a game where their defense has been smooth and they've played with all the right fundamentals needed to win a ball game, that wasn't there this time. 1-1 for Maximo, and the pitch to Venezia is in there, a fastball for strike 2. The Blue Sox playing their first home game since the collapse against Glens Falls, where they allowed 5 runs in the top of the 9th to lose 12-11. And after an 18-run win on Tuesday night, see what they can do here. High for ball 2 on the fastball. So does the good feelings and the record-breaking win, 18-run margin 2 days ago, does that lead to another win here, or will the woes at home continue? 2-2 pitch is in tight for a ball, and it's a full count to Venezia. Alex has already walked once on the evening.
It's going to put the pressure here on Maximo. He knows if he lets a runner on base, that brings a tying run to the plate, so you got to just try to stand everyone up and sit them down. It's difficult to get a 1-2-3 inning, but they need one here.
That is going to be in there for strike 3. Caught him looking. And Maximo sets down Venezia on strike number 3.
Yeah, I don't think Venezia really agreed with that call there, but nothing he can do about it as he walked back to the dugout. And now Maximo has forced them down to their final 2 outs.
Here with 1 out is Florentino. Half swings, and he went around for a strike. 0-1. You can hear the Blue Sox dugout hooting and hollering, really connected as a team. That is a contrast to the 9th inning where they were silent before the top of the 9th, really. They weren't that loud, and then you could hear a pin drop after they blew the lead. Much different atmosphere here. And an 0-1 is rolled over towards third base and foul, and it's 0-2 on Florentino. Doug Dillette trusting Wes Maximo to go the distance after he came in relief. And the 5th inning, he's only allowed 1 run. He's been great and got out of some jams and trying to throw a workmanlike 9th to secure a victory. 0-2 the count on Florentino, and the pitch is upstairs, way high, trying to look for a chase and couldn't get it. Base is empty and Oneonta down by 2. The Outlaws won on opening day in a rain-soaked game. No rain to be found here, but maybe the Outlaws can pull off some magic again. Ground ball up the middle, past the mound, into center field. That's a base hit, and the tying run will come to the plate for the Outlaws. Gus Simon hits. He already has a single on the day.
That's about as perfect as you can ground the ball up through the middle there. Just kind of rolls on through. Nobody in the vicinity for the Blue Sox to really get a shot at that one. So brings the tying run to the plate, and now pressure is back on Maximo here. Still got to get 2 more outs, but could get out of it right here with a double play.
Third hit allowed for Wes Maximo. First pitch to Simon is a strike in the center of the zone, 0-1. So Wes is throwing strikes. He's not messing around. And I don't know about you, but I get a sense that Wes isn't scared about having a runner at first right now. He feels confident.
Absolutely, and he's going to continue throwing the way that's been dominant for him in this game so far, even if that means going upstairs a couple times, trying to get him to chase.
Seemed like that was almost a pitch out, sensing a attempt to possibly steal for Florentino that didn't materialize. Chris is the only runner on. He's at first. 1-1 pitch is way in. Ball 2. Just tried to find the corner of that pitch, but didn't bite. So now 2-1. 2 outs to go for the Blue Sox to grab a win. One they've been looking for, especially in their home digs. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Simon hasn't struck out on the day. He does not want to start now. Maximo ready. Still as a statue. 2-2 pitch. Just got a piece of it foul. We'll do it again. Slight breeze coming in. Sun still hasn't fully set in a fast-moving ball game. Both sides played well, but the Blue Sox holding a 2-run lead and trying to keep it. Another 2-2 pitch coming. Another one foul, climbing up high to the screen.
And Maximo here has got to start to get a little frustrated. You just can't get this guy to strike out.
Florentino on at first. Doesn't seem to want to run. Doesn't want to be caught looking or caught stealing. And run into an out in the base paths. So after a better timeout, Simon back in. Third straight 2-2 pitch coming from Wes Maximo. Runner does move, and that ball is low, and it's 3-2, and a stolen base for Florentino. So now the intrigue grows. Runner in scoring position. Given that is a 2-run game, that doesn't mean the end of the world, because a single, for example, would only mean 4-3, but it obviously increases the odds for the Outlaws. Count full. And the pitch is swung on and hit well in a left center field, but not well enough for Connor Jones to avoid catching it. That's out number 2. And the Blue Sox are 1 out away from back-to-back triumphs. Jack Lockwood, the last hope for Oneonta. He is still the tying run. The only way for him to tie it right now is to send one out of the ballpark. 2 home runs on the game, both by Jack Sweeney of Utica. Florentino on at second and 2 away. And the first pitch is in on the hands, and he spoiled it foul. 0-1.
And I think here, if you're Maximo, you just got to keep things simple. Don't try to get fancy with your pitches. Just stick with what's worth. Use your fastball, use your curveball, and just let the win come to you. Don't try to chase it too hard and accidentally hang one right over the middle.
0-1 pitch is a fastball upstairs, 1-1. Maximo trying to close the deal here. He's 1 pitch away from that, possibly, as it's now 1-2 on that swing and a miss. So the Outlaws are down to their final strike. Maximo, the strikeout artist, trying to end the game. His 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed, struck him out, and the Blue Sox win it. The Blue Sox celebrate on the field, and for the first time in 17 days, Utica wins at Donovan Stadium. They take down the Outlaws 4-2. Furthermore, it's their first home win when recording the final out, as their other one was a walk-off, and it's their first win at home in the evening. A 2-1 triumph against the Outlaws. The Blue Sox are now 6-8 and tied for that final playoff spot in the East. And that was a fun game, Killian.
Well, we talked about it before that if the Utica offense was able to get rolling, that they would be able to come out on top. They didn't quite get rolling as this game as much as they did in their last one, but it didn't matter. Wes Maximo credited with as the winning pitcher for the Blue Sox, as he goes 5 innings and is able to secure the victory, only allowing 1 run. And just what a game this was for Utica, and a really big home bounce back that they needed.
Highlights of the game: John Regas starting and going 4 strong. Of course, Maximo taking it the rest of the way. Connor Jones being a star in center field with several strong outfield catches. Of course, just announced the player of the game, Jack Sweeney. That makes sense. He's hit 2 bombs on the game, 1 to left and 1 to straightaway center, where the dimensions are so hard to carry one out. We got the tag out by Andrew Johnston at home plate to get out Lockwood to prevent the game from then being tied 3-3. That was huge. And then just all around, a lot of routine plays being made by the Blue Sox, when in earlier games when they were losing, they may have made an error and thrown it away. They were really sound today, just 1 error, and it was a pickoff attempt. Just a great overall win for the Blue Sox, I would say.
Absolutely, and for Utica, it's definitely something that they can build on. They're going to get used to their home stadium. They have 5 out of their next 7 games are at home, so they could definitely continue with these winning waves here as they go down and start to make a push for one of those top 3 spots in the division. Obviously, the top 4 make it, but you're in that position already to where that you could be shooting higher with the amount of games you have left in the year. Baseball, it's a long season. 1 game doesn't necessarily dictate how an entire year is going to go, but if this isn't open for the Blue Sox, it's certainly a good one.
The Blue Sox will be next up on June 20th against Mohawk Valley. You just saw Jack Sweeney get doused with water. He deserves it. First multi-home run game of the season for the Blue Sox. And so after that game on the 20th, we will be on air at Donovan Stadium on Father's Day against the Boonville Lumberjacks for our next telecast. So that is going to do it for tonight's game. The Blue Sox get the home win they've been wanting for 17 days. The final score, Utica 4, Oneonta 2. That'll do it for tonight. For our producer, Louis Leibowitz, and my partner, Killian Heffron, I'm Morgan Spriggs, wishing you a great rest of your Thursday night. So long.